marked for approved misses it just by a hair. So our question, what is the vote? And this is where I would remind the board that there is a rule for, an instance where you have a single mark on a ballot or a single issue on a ballot. Even if that mark is not in the target area, if you can discern what response that mark is associated with, it can be considered a pattern of one and therefore would be a vote. If you wanted to consult the canvassing, the voter intent manual, you can look at Rule A, target area on page 2. You can also look at a messy mark rule on page 72 as well.
So to me, when I'm looking at the mark here approved, it looks like there's an X. And as you were saying, Jarlyn, the rejected mark and the signatures are all in the same ink. So it looks like the intent to me is rejected.
I agree with that.
The board has made a determination for this first ballot that it is a vote for rejected for King County Prop 1.
In the lower right hand side, look at the basket, see if we have other green pens that work. All right. We're now on B-0002. The voter mark rejected was what might be a squiggly check mark here. The mark in approved, mark in approved is a squiggle, but it might be covering up another squiggly check mark in there, maybe. Should we treat the approved mark as a correction or call it an overvote because there's marks in both ovals? Rules on corrections, Rule C, are on page 34 of the voter intent manual.
This could also possibly be just a stray mark in the rejected, maybe, because it's pretty filled out with the approved. There's a big mark there, and then there's kind of something coming down.
The board has made a determination for the second ballot that it is a vote for approved.
Alrighty, we are now on to B-0003. And for this one, we actually have two items for you, both on King County Prop 1 and then Enumclaw Schools. Okay, so for here we have the voters scratched out or lined out one target area in the measure, and then they also put a big X in the target area for the other measure. Are either of those a vote, or is this considered a double correction?
Excuse me, I just need to interrupt you. We aren't able to hear the audio on the live stream, so I'm recording you with my phone so that we have an audio record. And Haley is letting me know that she's concerned about just making sure we have an audio record. So I wanted to make sure that it's acceptable that I record with my phone while we're conducting the meeting so that we have an audio record.
Yes, as long as we have an audio record.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe I'm also recording on the computer, but I haven't tested that. I do know that I am recording on my phone.
Okay.
And should we be projecting a little more loudly just to make sure that we're being picked up on that audio?
So no audio on Facebook Live.
Yes, and I have not been able to identify why that's happening. So,
All right.
context, many, many years ago, a previous iteration of the canvassing board did consider those double corrections, because there was a line through one candidate and an X'd out oval. That was many, many years ago, just for some context.
So not that it was, that the X is marking the vote, it was that it's, X is crossing that out and the line through is also crossing it out.
Well, I think the difference though, and I don't know what that situation was, but the correction to me looks like the one that's crossing out both the word and the oval. There's one that the word remains, and so I feel like the vote is for the one where the word is remaining.
I agree with that, I think that's, they're just making it very clear, they vote for where the X is and do not want the other option.
The board has made a determination. It is a vote for approved for King County Proposition number 1, and a vote of no for Enumclaw School District Prop 1.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to B-0004. This voter made marks in both target areas, though it's unclear whether it's one extended mark into both target areas, or if they are two separate distinct marks. They also made a large slash through the responses, which could be construed as a written instruction to undervote the contest, or it could just be a stray mark.
Well, I just so happen to have this guide open to page 11, and this sort of looks like this, except for there are some, there's a lot of marking in the approved, a little bit less marking in the rejected, and then the line through it. So what's throwing me off is the marking that's in the rejected, but otherwise, it would look just like this, where this is a valid vote for approved.
Looks like a valid vote for approved to me too.
Agreed, why return the ballot, right?
Yeah.
The voter has made a the voter and we agree, they made a determination. Sorry. The board has made a determination that it is a vote counted for approved for King County Prop 1.
Okay, we're on to ballot number 5, so it's B-0005. King County Proposition 1 is the one in question. This one is simple. It's a messy mark. It's in between both the approved and the rejected. So it is unclear to us which response could be the vote, or if it's an overvote.
What do you think?
It feels like there's more rejected.
Yeah, definitely.
Board has made a determination for King County Prop 1, it's recorded as a vote for rejected.
Okay, B-0006, similar situation, there's some ink in both of the approved and the rejected, a messy mark.
Looks like there's mark and approved and not necessarily rejected.
Yeah. rejected at all.
The board has made a determination to record this as a vote of approved for King County Prop 1.
Do you need the microphone?
We're on to ballot B-0007. For this ballot, again, a messy mark, but also note that the only mark on a ballot is gonna be considered a vote, even if it's not inside the oval. So this mark doesn't touch either oval, but if we know which oval it's associated with, that would be considered the vote.
Well, the ink is going into the rejected, the word rejected, more, it's not going into approved at all, so I would suggest it's rejected.
I agree.
Board has made a determination that this is a vote for rejected for King County Prop 1.
Okay, second to last ballot, it's a fun one, B-0008. For King County Prop 1, this voter corrected both responses, but put initials on the same level as approved, and then wrote approved next to the rejected. Is this telling us as a written instruction to vote for approved, or are they approving the vote for rejected and initialing their correction?
A lot going on. Oh, it's different than I pictured it when you described it. I think it's a written instruction, I should let you look at it, I think it's a written instruction for approved.
I
but,
agree. I was looking at what she was doing. I agree.
Board has made a determination that capturing this as a vote for approved on King County Prop 1.
Congratulations, you've made it to the final ballot this afternoon, which is B-0009. This is for Mercer Island Schools. This voter made a complicated mark in the rejected, but they also wrote no in the white space that is possibly aligned with the approved target area. If we couldn't figure out what no means, then we'd count it as a vote for rejected, even if it looks like it might have been meant as a correction, because it's the only vote, or only mark on the ballot. But is that no a written instruction to undervote the contest, or a vote for rejection? Thank you.
They know how to undervote because they did it in the first. So I think that they are making a selection and making it very clear that they do not approve.
Yeah, I agree.
Vote for rejected.
Correct.
Board has made a determination for Mercer Island School District Prop 1, a vote for rejected.
And that is all I have for the board to review today.
I make a motion for the King County election staff to count the ballots as marked.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any further business?
Nope.
All right, the canvassing board meeting is adjourned at 2:21 p.m. on May 1st, 2025. Again, we'll be back virtually tomorrow to certify this election at 9 a.m. Thanks, everyone.